Hello everyone, and welcome back to another video. Today we are checking out a dead mall just outside of the Philadelphia metropolitan region. This is the Exton Square Mall in Exton, Pennsylvania. This mall has been on the decline for quite some time now, and today it pretty much sits in its final days. So join me for a walk through the Exton Square Mall as it just opens up for the day, and let's see what it holds in store for us during my visit in May 2024. History begins in the early 1970s, when the Rouse company would develop a brand new shopping mall for the city of Exton, Pennsylvania. And on March 15, 1973, Exton Square Mall would officially open its doors for the first time. It would be anchored by a Strawbridge and clothier department store, and would feature a layout that would have a ring of smaller stores that went around the Strawbridge's store. Exton Square Mall was also noted for having the first Chick-fil-A restaurant in the state of Pennsylvania. Rouse would also be responsible for restoring the Zook House, a historic 18th century farmhouse that existed on the site of the mall, and they would use it as an administration building for the mall. Although competing with other malls, notably King of Prussia, Exton Square Mall would hold its own for Chester County throughout the 70s and 80s. However, by the 1990s, Exton Square Mall would begin to fall behind. Thanks to many expansions happening at the King of Prussia Mall, Exton Square Mall would have to update its image to compete. So, plans for an expansion to Exton Square would begin in 1995. Rouse would plan to double the size of the mall, adding a full second floor, as well as a food court and 2 parking garages. They would also plan to attract more anchor stores to the property, as by this point, Strawbridge's was still the only anchor at the mall. By 1996, Boscov's and JCPenney would sign leases to open locations at Exton Square Mall, with Sears also signing on to build a store at Exton Square in 1997. Groundbreaking would begin for this expansion in December that year. However, Boscov's would take over the land that the Zook House sat on, but Rouse wanted to still preserve it. So, they would relocate the Zook House a few hundred feet away from its original spot. In addition, Rouse would also work on improving the roads around the mall, including US 30 Business as well as State Route 100. And they would also update the interior of the mall, giving us the more modern look we have today. By 1999, Sears, Boscov's, and the new food court would open, whilst JCPenney and the rest of the construction would be concluded by May of 2000. After the $125 million expansion was completed, Exton Square Mall would continue to see success, and the mall would now be sitting at around 1 million square feet with space for up to 150 stores. However, Rouse would sell Exton Square Mall along with 5 other properties in 2003 to Pennsylvania Real Estate Investment Trust, also known as PREIT, for $548 million. And in 2006, Strawbridge and Clothier would be converted to Macy's during the May and Federated Department Store's buyout. However, things would begin to go downhill in the 2010s, as on January 15, 2014, JCPenney would announce the closure of their Exton Square Mall store along with 33 other locations. And around the same time, Mainline Health would open up a 32,000 square foot healthcare facility on the first floor of the mall. The closure of JCPenney would begin the slow decline of Exton Square Mall, as shoppers would begin to drive further to King of Prussia Mall for better shopping options, not to mention other shopping centers within the city of Exton, including the outdoor Main Street at Exton right down the road from the mall. PREIT would try to bring in more tenants to attract more people to the Exton Square Mall. Round 1 Entertainment would open up on the bottom floor of the former JCPenney in December 2016, whilst a Whole Foods Market would open up as an out parcel in early 2018. Replacing a Kmart that used to sit on that land. However, whilst all this was happening, a vacancy rot would begin to form throughout the interior of the mall, and Sears Auto Center would close in 2017, and things would just keep getting worse throughout the late 2010s. On July 14, 2019, Sears would announce the closure of their Exton Square Mall location. The store would close for the last time in September 2019. And in March 2020, Exton Square Mall would have to shut down for a couple months thanks to the COVID lockdown. When the mall reopened, it was a ghost town. Inline occupancy would be sitting under 50% by this point, and many stores would continue to leave the dying mall. A COVID vaccination center would temporarily occupy the former Sears space in 2021, however the mall itself would continue to struggle. Although many non-traditional tenants would move into the mall around this time, such as a chess club, an art gallery, and a Chamber of Commerce office, the vacancy rot throughout the mall would continue to spread. And by this point, PREIT knew there was no way to save Exton Square Mall. In March 2022, Pria attempted to sell Exton Square Mall. However, their sale to Brandywine Realty Trust fell through for unknown reasons. As Exton Square Mall would continue to decline, maintenance would begin to slip, as roof leaks and water damage would begin to show up throughout the property. And in July 2024, the central air conditioning system throughout the mall would stop working, resulting in the interior of the mall to become very hot thanks to the summer heat. This would result in Boscov's closing off their mall entrance. In January 2025, Macy's would announce the closure of their Exton Square Mall location, and the store would close for the final time on March 23, 2025, leaving Boscov's as the mall's sole anchor store. However, whilst Macy's was closing, Abrams Realty would acquire Exton Square Mall in February 2025, and they planned to demolish part of the mall and add residential units along with a variety of other mixed uses for the property. Whilst Exton Square Mall is still open as of the making of this video, it is basically sitting in its final days and could close any day now. The interior of the mall is a ghost town and pretty much has nothing left inside. Whilst the future of this property is definitely bright, Exton Square Mall now sits on borrowed time.
I really enjoyed my visit to Exton Square Mall, for many different reasons. First off, this mall was very big, bright, and airy with a neat color scheme and lots of thriving plants. While this mall is very dead and it died quickly, so it is sad to see most of the space in this giant mall not being put to use. It almost reminds me of other malls in terms of its size and emptiness. The food court was definitely the busiest and most occupied part of this mall, and aside from the mall walkers, this is where most of the people in this mall were hanging out. I loved the look of this mall. It had a very typical 90s design aesthetic, but I thought it looked very nice.
Whilst I'm glad this fountain didn't get completely ripped out and is being reused as a planter, I do wish it was still operating as a fountain. It would have added that extra bit of character to this mall that already looks really nice. The renovation that Rouse did looks really nice, and I really like the skylights and ceilings here, as well as the planters that are along the railings of the second floor. Although very dead, Exton Square Mall looked like it was being maintained really well during our visit in May 2024, and it definitely sucks to hear it's not being maintained as well anymore. Although part of it being so clean could have been the fact that we visited this mall first thing in the morning right as it opened. This was the first mall I filmed during the second day of our Maryland mall trip we did in May 2024, and our hotel was right across the street from here, so we literally walked right over to this mall when it opened. Now, this is one of those malls I definitely can say online shopping is not the reason that this mall died. King of Prussia Mall is 14 miles away from here, and it is one of the largest malls in the country, and it is doing really well for itself. Quite simply, Exton Square couldn't keep up with the demand, and King of Prussia Mall was just taking its business away. Nevertheless, it's still sad to see a mall die like this. This mall definitely had the potential, but King of Prussia just took all of that potential away. And it sucks because this mall had a really unique layout. The square layout is actually something I've never seen before, and the former Macy's literally was in the dead center of the mall, so you had to walk through the mall to get to the Macy's store. Although, with current circumstances in the retail apocalypse, that probably voted for a disaster, hence why the store closed. Now, I'll give you a quick look of this former Macy's / Strawbridge's as we head on out, but I didn't capture much footage as we were on a time crunch, but I wish I captured a little more, since now the store is gone. This location was definitely in rough shape. It smelled like mold in here. That's one thing I remembered. But other than that, I think that's all I've got to say for Exton Square. And with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, I would like to thank you all for watching my video tour of the Exton Square Mall in Exton, Pennsylvania. If you guys did enjoy this video, please be sure to leave a like as it greatly helps support the channel. And whilst you're at it, be sure to click that subscribe button and turn on notifications, so more mall videos like this can be released to more viewers like you. I have a lot more mall videos coming to the channel very soon with a lot more stuff you're not going to want to miss, especially from this Maryland trip. So be sure to subscribe for more mall videos to come your way. I also have an Instagram linked in the description with sneak peeks of future videos coming to the channel. And with that being said, I will leave you all with a drone montage of the exterior of the mall. Thank you all so much for watching. Take care, stay awesome, and have a blessed day. I will see you all in my next video.